Hi guys, a very warm welcome. And in this video, we are going to talk about how we can work on the simple queue service or the SQS. Let's look into it. You can see that I have logged in into my AWS account in the Oregon region. And you can open up the simple queue service from the recently visited services. Otherwise, you can search for the SQS also and just click on the simple queue service here. It will open up the queue service dashboard. And the first thing is that we need to create a queue in the SQS service. You can see there are two queues already created in this account. So we just have to click on create a queue. Now there are two types of queues, a standard queue as well as the FIFO queue or the first in first out queue. In the standard queue, the messages arrive, any random message can arrive to the queue and any random message can be picked from the queue as well by the backend application. Whereas in the case of FIFO queue or the first in first out queue, the message delivery or the order delivery is preserved, which means any message that arrives first will be picked first also by the backend application or an agent. So what we need to do is we need to provide the name to the queue. Let's say I provide a name to the queue. Let's say I'm creating a queue for the e-commerce platform. So I'll just type a name something like e-commerce order processing. And in the case of a visibility timeout, message retention period, all these configurations, either you can keep them default, otherwise you can make the changes also. It is up to you. So let's say if you keep the visibility timeout as 30 seconds, so till 30 seconds you can prevent the order or the message from the duplication processing. Similarly, in the case of a message retention period, if it is 4 days, so that particular order or a message will be in the queue for 4 days. After that, it will be purged and deleted. And these are all customizable. Maximum message size, you can get it somewhere close to 256 KB. In the case of an encryption, if you enable the encryption, whatever the message that arrives in the queue will be in the encrypted format. And that actually makes the queue and your messages or the orders secure. In the access policies, you can define who should be having the access of the queue. You can define who should be the owner of the queue. And you can customize the access policy as well. So just click on create a queue and you would see that the e-commerce order processing queue will be created. You get a URL also and you can use this URL to browse the queue, or you can integrate it with some third-party API tools as well for publishing the messages or the orders in the queue as well. Now what we need to do is we just have to send some messages, some random messages in the queue, and then we have to pick or receive the messages from the queue as well. So I'll just click on send and receive messages. And first we are going to send the messages. So in the message body, let's say it's an e-commerce platform. So I'm going to add some products. Let's say I pick something like tennis ball. I purchase a tennis ball. And in the message attributes, you can add the customer's name, customer contact details, addresses, even the type of the ball or the product related information also you can add up. Otherwise, you can keep the attributes blank also. And just send the message. Likewise, somebody purchased a laptop, for example. Somebody purchased a chair. Somebody purchased, let's say, a camera. Somebody purchased a t-shirt. Likewise, the messages will keep on coming or keep on arriving randomly. So this is all about how we can send the messages to the queue. How we can retrieve or receive the messages from the queue, we need to poll for the messages from the queue. And this polling can be done by an application in the backend, or you can manually poll also the queue. So we just have to click on poll for messages, and here you would see it will poll the queue for the messages, and whatever the messages that are available in the queue, that will be displayed. Now, since it's a standard queue that I have used, so I, as an backend agent, I can pick any random message. Let's say I pick this message, open it up, and it is all about chair. I'll just look into the attributes and do the order processing. And at the same time, when I'm doing an order processing, if somebody else also polls the queue, that person will not be able to view this message, but rest of the other messages will be available for them. And this is what the visibility timeout is, to prevent the duplication processing of the orders. Now, if you're manually polling the queue, then it becomes the responsibility of an agent to process the order and afterwards delete it. Otherwise, that message will be back in the queue. Or if you are polling the queue from the application, backend application, then the application is going to delete the message after the processing of the order. So SQS is an asynchronous service, just like in SNS. You can use it for order processing, just like for creating a simple queue, or you can integrate it with some other AWS services in a solution itself. And I would suggest that you can go through some case studies on the SQS, and that would give you some more information about how you can work on the SQS in the real time way. Thank you for watching this video, guys.